Hello. Let me connect over here to Zoom as well. Hey, Lisa. Hi, nice to see you. I can't hear you. You're muted. All right. Hi, Alan.
Hi, Diana.
Hi there. I'm using my friend's computer, my coworker's computer. I'm Kat.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Hi.
And it's temporary anyway, so I'm gonna change your name so that it shows up correctly. It's not like when she uses it again, it'll be fine. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
But I need to have your name on the roster. So can you remind me your last name? I don't have-
Edward Tom Zebra. Last name's Etz.
Okay. And give me a second. I'm opening our. All right, continue without audio. Sorry, I'm connecting with my other computer. All right. So back to that. So you just said, I'm sorry, you just said gave me your name and I was connecting. So it's Kat. I'm
Or
looking,
Catherine Etz. Last name's E-T-Z.
there you go. Perfect. All right. So Kat Etz. Okay, easy. That's it.
Mhm.
Easy. Perfect. Rename. And hi, Alicia. Hi, Nick. And hi, Elaine. So the rest of you have been in my Excel class yet, but Kat hasn't yet been in the class. So I'm going to spend a couple of minutes helping her catch up to some of the stuff that y'all need to know before we can start with the actual class. So give me a quick second here while I share my screen. So, I'm gonna share my screen to a browser. So Elaine, can you open a browser, any old browser somewhere? And are you on a Mac or on a PC?
I'm on a PC.
Okay, so maybe open Chrome or whatever browser you use. The kind doesn't matter.
Browser.
And we're gonna head over to, to the internet, to the SBCC. We're gonna go to the pipeline account.
Click this one.
And I need everyone to do this, by the way. We're gonna download class files. It's just that since I told other people to show up in 20 minutes, if
I can't.
this hasn't happened, I'm gonna have everyone do it again in 20 minutes, but right now I'm just gonna, everyone else who comes in later will know where these are to download them. But Elaine doesn't, so that's why I'm gonna take her there for a second. You're gonna go to SBCC and enter into the pipeline. So sbcc.edu. And then over here, we'll click on the pipeline to get into pipeline. So there's some background sound. Does someone have someone talking
Hold on.
near them?
Sorry, I'm actually at a workplace. I'll go ahead and mute it
Oh,
a
got it.
minute.
No,
Do
that's
you
fine.
do you want us muted? Because everybody else is muted.
Well, because I'm talking with you and they know that. So
Oh, okay.
I just, right now, this portion, they all know, because this is Excel 2 and they were all in Excel 1.
Mhm.
So I'm just wanting you to go into here and tell me when you are set up and ready to go.
see.
So go ahead and log in. And when you're done with that, let me know. When you're logged into pipeline, let me know.
I'm in pipeline.
Okay, good. Now, and this, let's go to student. By the way, everyone do this. We're going to student and student resources. Because we all have new class files for today. And then over here, we're going to go to Google Drive. Under student resources on the far right, you'll see Google Drive. once you get to Google Drive, if you've never used the pipeline one, you'll have nothing here. You'll see welcome and stuff like that. But if you have used it, this is your drive. But we're gonna head over to shared drives.
Okay, I'm in. I don't see a place where it says Google Drive in under
Okay.
Students tab,
Okay, student resources.
student resources.
And on the far right of that page, you might need to scroll to the right. There's Google Drive.
Okay.
And then when you get here, usually you're by default in home. I need you to click on shared drives. And if this is your first time into your pipeline account, it'll have all these welcome things. Just close them all out and head over to shared drives.
Understand.
And
Shared
then
drives.
once you're in shared drives, you should be seeing the folder called Excel 123.
Okay,
If you double click on that, here we go. This is where we have the class files. Now, you might be seeing them like this in this mode, which is like little icons, or you might be seeing it like this, which is little names. Either way, I'm going to go into this mode. So everyone, once you get here, I want you to download the Excel 2. Right click and download, or click on the 3 little dots
one,
and download.
this one. No, it's gotta be this one.
Okay. So everyone else who's here already had the Excel 1 exercises, and I might be picking up on some of these. So Kat, could you
Yeah.
also download Excel 1? That way you'll have all the files because I'm going to do some samples with some stuff in there too.
Is that the first folder, Excel 2?
Excel 1 and Excel 2. When you say first folder, it seems to me that maybe you have it in this mode.
Yeah, I can't see it because it's small, so it's 2, got it.
Right click and down and right click Excel 2.
Do I have to do 1 right now? Can I do just 2 and download 1
Yeah,
later?
download 1 as well, because in particular today, we're going to be opening one of those from in there. Okay. So, all right, who else just joined us? Alicia, oh, you came in on your second computer. All right, cool. So once those, just let them be, they'll be in your guys' downloads folder. The next thing I need is to make sure that everyone knows how to get to the Padlet, which is where you're going to be doing like turning in work. So I'm going to put in the link here for the Padlet. Second, here's Padlet. And here's Excel. And this is, I'm going to give you a link right now in the chat. And here's the chat. So click on the link that I just put in the chat. And by the way, guys, everyone, don't forget that you all need to go to the chat and say hello. Give me a little sign of life, like I say, good afternoon. Hi there. Bad afternoon, whatever you want to say, but please go and write something in the chat. But also click on that link that I just put in the chat, and it'll take you here to the class Padlet. Okay. And we started this one already. We're going to keep using the same one. And the class Padlet is where I need you guys to post the work as you're working on it and while you are attending class. So guys, I don't see anyone else other than Alicia and Kat who wrote in the chat. So everyone, please go into the chat and say hi. I'm going to move this here out of the way for a second. And by that, I'm talking about my other computer. And here we go. Make sure to have
Can't see her and do this at the same time.
Excel up and running. Now, Kat, and I'm asking you this again because everyone else handled it before. Do you have, when I'm sharing my screen like this, when I stop my share, do you need to put your screen, do you have only one screen, I'm assuming, in front of you, or two?
Yeah, this
'Cause
is kind of a problem right now I'm finding, because when you're talking and showing me examples, I have to be off this screen to the other screen and I can't
which
even.
is which is what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And I'm talking it to you, don't feel targeted. Everyone else has done this, so I'm not talking to you.
No, I'm just saying
Um,
that this is, I mean, at my
But I'm gonna tell
workstation,
you, I'm gonna
I
tell
have
you how to
two.
handle it.
This is
I'm gonna-
not.
I'm gonna tell you how to handle it. So right now, when I'm talking, I'm probably filling your screen, right? So yes or no?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so now grab your grab the or hit the escape key, ESC, which is the top left key of your keyboard. And that allows the zoom now to be grabbed from the very far corners of this where you're seeing the black corners. And now you can click and drag it to make it fit only half the size of your screen. And by the way, if the chat is in the way and taking space, you can click again on the word chat and then it'll disappear so that it, like you click on it, it appears, click on it, disappears. And that way you take up less of space in your screen. So is that working now? Do you have me occupying only half of your screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that a happening maybe, or is that a full on yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, so now when I share my screen, and then on the other side of your screen, then you need to put your browser. So leave me on half of the screen and then grab your browser and shape it so that it fits on the other half. Does that make sense? So then what I
Yes.
demo, you have me on one side talking and on the other side you have your browser.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on.
Now, that's good, except for when I share my screen, it all kind of messes up again.
Yeah.
Now, when I share my screen, I probably am filling your screen up again, right?
No.
No? Okay, good. Because many times what happens is you have to do that process again. You have to hit escape again. But if I'm not, then good, then you're fine. I'm far enough to one side that on the other side, you'll be able to open your browser and see your browser right now. And also, when you open up Excel, you'll be able to have Excel on the other side of the screen. And that way you'll have one screen for both. So by the way, if you haven't yet, please open Excel so that that one is ready to go. And then you can begin by making sure that it fits on the other half of your screen. Now, you said you're not on your computer, you're at work. Is this temporary?
I'm actually on my laptop and on campus.
Oh, okay.
Not campus, but
Yeah,
my
yeah,
work. Yeah.
at work campus,
Yep.
but you are on a laptop, okay. If you have any opportunity to have a second screen, like if you have an iPad or another computer nearby that you can sign in twice, you'll see, for example, Alicia here is signed in twice and stuff like that, then that would be plan B on how you would want to hold on. Let me let people in. Then you can watch on one screen and do the work on the other, and that might be a solution. I'm having an issue with my other computer. Give me a second here, you guys, because I need to stop my share for a minute because my other computer is not showing me you guys, and without you guys, I can't. Be on speaker mode. I can't, where are you guys? What is happening? This is so bizarre. I'm sharing from my other computer right now, and I've lost the window where I can see you all.
Hmm.
There it is. Oh. Okay, I've joined a different meeting. I'm so sorry. End meeting. You guys, I was in Excel 1 in my other computer, and that's why I was like, why are you guys not appearing in my other computer? So I apologize. I was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Got you. So this is just me. Because I have another computer where I get to see you guys. Okay, sorry, guys. I was on Mac level 2 instead of Excel level 2. All right. Hi, Becky. Thanks for joining us. All right. So now that all of that is over, I can come back. So what I need you guys to do then is to head over to the Padlet and make sure that you got there. And when so did you get to the Padlet? Were you able to click on the link and have this open and ready to go? Yeah, Becky, you just joined us, so let me put the link in the chat again so that you can join us again, or join the Padlet. Here we go. All right. Now, we're not going to use it right now, but I'm explaining because Kat hasn't been with us in the class before, that once we work on something, we're going to do screenshots and you're going to post them in here. So as we go along, I'll be saying, okay, take a screenshot. And then at that point, Kat, if, do you know how to take a screenshot, or do I need to walk you through it? Let me know. You said you're on a PC. So then I'll be I'll be explaining how to do it again and posting in here when it's time to post. I just want you to have the file by having clicked on it. I want you to have this open and ready to go. And Becky, you just joined us. You need to go over to the class handouts and download exercise 2, Excel 2 class exercises. Okay. Anyone else who doesn't have one or the other? I want you both to know how to get to the Padlet, and I want you to remember how and I want you to download the class exercises. Okay. So once you're done with A, opening up the window for our Padlet and remaining open, and B, opening up a window to our class exercises and downloading the exercises. Once you've got both of those, then give me a yes. And Kat, let me explain why I mean by the yes. The way I work with entire class is when I have them do something, at some point I need to check in that everyone's there. And if you're there and it's working and whatever I taught you or shared is you've been able to replicate, then you would give me a yes. And if you can't and you need help, you give me a no. And then I know to support you. So the yeses and the nos are down in the reaction buttons. Do you know? Can you see them? Everyone else, give me a yes or a no. I see that there's a yes already there on Nick's thing. So Kat, I'm talking to you right now. So the same place where you mute yourself, keep going to the right. I'm actually going to stop my share because it's easier to find it at first. So the place where you mute and unmute yourself has a lot of icons on the bottom. As you go to the right, one of them should look like a smiley face or a heart, and it should be called react or reactions. Can you see that?
No, because I had to shrink the screen. So now I have to expand the screen in order to see that.
No. If you don't see it, then the last thing on the farther is the more with 3 dots. Click on more with 3 dots, and then over there you would see the react or reactions.
Okay.
Do you see it now?
Yep.
Okay, good. So then Elaine, you've shared your screen twice. Is there a question you have, or because you just did the share a couple of times? I have a feeling that you weren't trying to share. I'm going to stop your share again. Go to the right next to the share is the reactions, and that's where I want you to give me a yes if you have new files. And Kat, that's the request. Give me a yes if you downloaded the files and if you have the Padlet open. Everyone else, hi Linda, nice to see you. And for example, Elaine, who said no, I know he needs help. She needs help, so I'm going to go help her. But Becky and Alan and Alicia, I need you guys to also say yes or no. And here's the rule: everyone has to say your yes or no. Otherwise, I call on you and I ask, "Hey, did you do it? Did you not do it?" That way, I can know whether I'm ready to move on. But when you say no, I can give you a hand. So Elaine, yeah, How can I help? What's up? I can't hear you, by the way, because you're
I'm
muted.
still trying to download.
Oh, okay.
uh,
So do you need help getting there or what?
No,
Or,
I think I can get there. I just have to go do it. It didn't work the first time.
do you want to share your screen since you just shared it and I can give you a hand?
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to, but in case.
Can I get rid of that Zoom thing?
The only thing that's not sharing itself is Zoom, so I don't know what Zoom thing you're trying to share. Do you have like,
Okay, I
Stop.
got rid of it.
you move out of the way? Okay. So you need to go to the internet. Right now you're in the File Explorer and you can't. So yeah, click on Google right there. Down there, you were about to go to Google. On the taskbar, down at the taskbar, right here. You have, I'm pointing down here.
Oh,
Go to the
taskbar.
Google. Yeah. And click on,
Oh,
oh, are you
here
on
it is.
VDI?
I shouldn't
Yeah,
be.
Your Excel.
No,
seems-
I should be on a PC.
Oh, okay, so then go here again, because I'm not seeing this window. Click on this.
Where the-
I'm not seeing the window of your browser. Are you seeing it?
No.
All right, so it seems like it might be hiding somewhere. Go ahead and close Excel for now, since we don't need it yet. Go ahead and go to Excel over here and close Excel as well. Right click and, okay. So now go back to your browser.
Oh, where the hell is my browser?
You
There.
have it, you have it
This-
open there. So interesting. This is your File Explorer. This is not your browser. Trying to figure out what's wrong that go over here and maybe try there. Double click Chrome over there on your screen, on your desktop. You see over there on the Chrome, see if that works. Or over here you have Chrome again. I'm not sure why you have it open here, but can't see it. There it is. You had it minimized or something. Okay, great. Now go over here to the class exercises tab way up here at the top. There. Yeah. Yeah, click on that. Don't close it. Click on the middle of this tab right there. Are you seeing, or do you have something in the way where I'm pointing?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Way up here, do you see a blue line that I'm pointing to something? Yeah, that tab. Perfect.
Okay, and then
For now, hold on.
Sure.
The problem is that you got into the class exercises. So instead of that, click on the Excel 1, 2, 3 right there. Perfect. Now go to this spot here and click on these 3 dots and say, oh, no, you double click. So now you have to back out again.
okay.
Go here to where I'm pointing, Excel 1, 2, 3
Oh, my screen sharing thing is in the way.
here. Excel 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Okay,
Now don't double click, just single click these. No, don't double click. Single click these 3 little dots at the far right. Yeah. There, click on one time and then say download. Perfect. Now it's downloading. So cool. Now you just need to wait it out and they'll download into your computer in a second. Now, here down on the bottom left on the taskbar, that's your File Explorer. Yeah, can you click on your File Explorer? Okay. And now head over here to your downloads. Oh, there it is. And is it unzipped? Double click to make sure. And go over here to the word extract.
oh, okay.
Click on extract.
Do I
And
double click?
so here it is, extract all.
Oh,
And now it's over here, extract. And good, great. So now it's just sitting there and you're ready to go. When we open it, your files are in here in your downloads. So good, you're ready to go. So now you can open Excel again. I've stopped your share. All right, anyone else who needs a hand finding how to download their files? Becky, I don't see a yes, so I can't hear you either. So either unmute yourself. Brenda, hi.
Yeah, I need still help. I need help.
You need help? Okay, share your screen. And Brenda, hi. Nice to see you or nice to meet you. You weren't in class before, right? Or no, your name sounds familiar, but
Yes, I was on the Excel one.
you were in Excel one. Yeah, suddenly I
Yeah.
had this like blank of Brenda. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you are in your drive. Go ahead and same thing. Let me get my marker again. You need to click over here behind this one. Yep, there. And now click one more time. There. Now go over here and do a right click and say download. Yeah, download. Perfect. Again, it's heading in there and it's downloading and you're on a Mac, so it should automatically unzip.
Okay.
PC doesn't, but just in
Went
case,
up, ready?
make
It
sure,
went up there.
just to make sure that it did, then head over here to the Finder and let's make sure that in your downloads that the files are there and so now head over to your downloads. Yep. And
I don't see any.
oh, you might have, sometimes there's a request from Google to download multiple files, but I didn't see that happening. So go back to Google and download again. So over, I have so many things that I've marked right now that it's confusing. Let me undo here. Go back in here to this. I'm going to change my color to red so it's more visible. Yeah. And now go ahead and download again. Right click download. And now wait and see if you're getting a message from Google somewhere telling you, hey, are you
It went up.
to download a bunch of files? Go in
Show
there.
down. Show downloads.
Yeah, show. Well, then
Quite
go
a-
ahead and click on that folder and see if it didn't end up in your downloads folder. Maybe double click and it'll take you there. Okay, so let's find out where they are. Go click on this word here and right click. Oh, they downloaded into backup, into your
Backup,
backup.
backup, backup.
That's so weird. Okay, click now here on this thing that says Becky Backup. It's like your download, download it. Yeah, double click there or here, it doesn't matter. Yeah, double click there. Okay, and here are your classes. There it is, exercise files. So go ahead and drag them to your downloads to make it a little bit easier. But now you've lost your downloads location, which you have way down there. Yeah, put it there. So I don't know why they were for something. Okay, now click on downloads.
There it is.
They are. Okay. And you have your exercise, your first class 1 exercise files there too?
No, I have it on my home screen.
Okay, got it.
So
So
I can put it on my let's see. Where's my screen?
you mean your desktop?
Desktop. I put it on my
Go ahead
desktop.
and do that. If you guys take my Mac classes, I will tell you why you should not do that. But right now, since you're taking my Mac class, go ahead and grab it and put it on your desktop, and that's good. Guys, anyone who has a Mac who has not taken my Mac classes, please do so. Now close everything so you don't have a bazillion of things open and ready to go. And then over here on the top of your browser, I'm not seeing your Padlet. So can you go to the
Oh.
chat in the Zoom and open the Padlet?
Oh, where did my Padlet go?
I'll put it in the link one more time. Everyone, let me put it one more time in the chat. So go look at the chat right now. And in your Zoom chat, you should see the link to go to the Padlet. The chat, not the email, the Zoom chat. There we go. All right, cool. I'm going to stop
Okay.
your share. You're ready to go. So now
Okay,
give me a
thanks.
yes. Who else? Linda, do you have the class files? I know you know how to get them. And Brenda, how about you? Do you have the class files by now?
I do.
Okay, and everyone has clicked on the link to have the Padlet ready to go. And I think that means that everyone is ready to go. Yep. And Linda, don't forget that instead of a thumbs up, if you can give me a yes so it stays on, that would be really helpful. All right. Finally, we're ready to
Okay.
start with Excel 2. Everyone has the files, everyone has the Padlet ready to go. And now we're going to open up. Hold on. We're going to start with a file from, actually, let me see if I can start with one that's in this second list. I wanted to review, and over here, I put things that are specific to what we're going to do. So I would rather you go back to the Excel 1 class exercise files. So everyone go into your Finder or your File Explorer, and you will see the Excel. I'm wondering whether did I work on this computer? Which computer did I work on last time? I don't remember if I used one or the other. And if you guys remember, let me share the screen. This one that's a bit messy. This is the file that we had worked on that says in-class Excel begin formatting. And I know that Kat, you won't have that one, but you will have the one just called Excel 1 begin formatting formulas. So if you can open that one, that is about as near as we'll
I'm
get.
sorry. Are we? You said to download Excel 2 folders, correct?
I said also to download Excel 1, please. I remember you asked, should I do that one too? And I said, yeah, download both, because we're going to still be working on a couple of those files. I know I assumed that everyone had the first one, so I put the Excel 2 separately. I probably should have put them all in one so that you would download all of them, but then everyone would have all of them twice, right? So this is why I separated them. So for you, you need to download both. Or oh, I remember now, Brenda, that you have an old version of Excel, which is why the flash fill wasn't there. This is another reason why this is helpful for me to know what is or isn't available to you guys. All right, so now if you open, those of you who opened the file that we worked on last week, okay, then you will have the begin, the practice, we gave them all these colors, and at the very end, the formatted, where you were supposed to kind of complete and do the homework. If that hasn't been put yet on the Padlet, then that's what I wanted in here. And for example, Elaine here completed all of the average max min, and here she did, I'm not sure, did you do formulas for this or did you write? Elaine?
I wrote,
You did-
I did both. I did it both ways. The one that you're seeing, I did not, I did the across, but the one that I sent you, I did it manually by going up to the Sigma and doing the max and min and average and so on.
So that's for these, right? But over
Yeah.
here, this portion that I don't know how to pronounce, where it says today's date and printed on, I'm seeing that you wrote, it says 7/10/2024. I'm assuming you typed in 7/10/2024.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna do today, because today we're gonna work a little bit more on this, but we won't be writing this on, and I'll show you something about that. So then over here, Brenda also completed the work, but see here, hers is empty. This stuff that we have out there is us practicing on stuff. I'm explaining. Kat, yours will just be, you will just have this one. Once you download and open up the Excel 1 begin formatting, there's a begin and then there's a formatted, okay? And so you'll just see this, but this is the page I want you to be on. You don't have it completed, but this is where you should be. And if anyone else is here in
Oh,
class,
I'm sorry. That's called Excel 1 begin formatting formulas? That's the
yep,
the
that's the
sheet?
file. Yep. And when you first open it, you'll be here under begin. We don't have this anymore. We actually have this in there because everyone, you know, already worked on it. But for you, go over here and that'll be fine. So everyone, when you get to this place where we did all this work last time. Hopefully you already have it filled out. If you don't have it filled out, will give me a no. If you have it filled out, give me a yes. And it should be, this is kind of where it should be at from last week. And this is where, if you do have it, please do a screenshot and post it in the Padlet. Okay? So the only one who shouldn't be posting right now is Kat, because she didn't do it last week. Of course, she wasn't here. And the other people who shouldn't be posting is basically Elaine and Brenda and Linda, because you guys posted it. Let me see, Becky, have you posted the? Yours is not resolving. Looks like you posted. Oh, Becky, you posted a PDF.
Yeah, I still having trouble. It zooms into my
Okay,
into my preview. So after it goes to my preview,
oh, when you do a screenshot and you're on a Mac, it turns into, it's true. Like today you just had your downloads going something weird and your screenshots go somewhere weird.
right.
So I'll help you do that, because see the PDF, when I open it, it doesn't read. I can't see it. So I can't, oh, it did resolve into oh, okay, good. I can see it. And there I go. Okay, I see that you did the main answers here, and then we need to still drag it over. Okay, so other than Becky, Brenda, and Elaine and Linda, everyone else, please post a screenshot of this completed work, which was last week's work. If you didn't do it, or you don't have it for any reason, then open up, like Kat is doing, open up the original one. And we're gonna just go from there. Open up the basic Excel, begin formatting formulas, which is in the class files from Excel 1, and you'll be back to this one without the information. Okay? All right, I need a yes from you guys if you got the file that I asked you to open. Basically, if you have the old one from last week, give me a yes. If you don't have the old one from last week, then open the original one. So, okay, Alan, how can I help you? I can't hear you.
Okay, I have the file, but with January, February, March, but no totals or averages or max on this page that I found. So I don't have a complete version. I don't know if I had it.
But you have
somewhere.
any of the, but this is the one that in the bottom has the, like, we created new sheets and we
I don't
colored
have
them.
totals.
You don't have that?
Uh,
You don't have any
I
totals?
don't have totals,
Do you have, it's empty? So basically what you have is the undone one,
just the raw
one. Okay.
data for January,
I know
February,
that you
March,
did
yeah.
the work and you must have done a save as, and I don't know what you called it. So when you do a save as, you would
Right.
find, but let me just show you one trick. Go to file, up to file and recent, and see over here, if on recent, you can find that file that you worked on. It should be, if you didn't do much more, the second or the third. And you might have called it something else. I called it that in class exercise practice, but you might have called it something else. So whatever is under here, so file, recent, open recent, and then that you might be able to find what you worked on last week. Is that helping?
I'm trying to, well, file, the Finder file, and is there a recent?
You need to be in
I don't see-
in the Excel, okay? File finder.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah,
okay.
you need to be inside of Excel. So go to Excel, and that's the finder that we need to use. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and
There's,
yep.
So,
I'm gonna stop the share from here and I'm gonna be working on my other computer. Oh, and this other computer, I don't have the final formatted version here, so I'm gonna have to go to the other one. All right, do you want to share your screen so I can help you find it?
yes.
Share your screen, please.
Mhm.
Nick, you're asking me if there was a handout. No, it was just complete all of the formulas and I was talking about it during the Zoom. All you needed to do is I walked you in class through all of how to create all the formulas and the totals and average, max, min, count. And then I said, okay, you guys finish the whole thing for today. So.
Okay, I got it. I'll post it right now. Thanks.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so Excel, go back, okay, go back and click. Hold on, now I'm with you, Alan. Go ahead and click on this again
Yeah.
so that you bring up Excel again. Just click. Okay, good. Now, no, click on this again because, oh, you're not in your Excel.
Oh, wait a minute.
You're again in your browser Excel. So no, close that. You need to be in your computer's Excel. That's what's happening.
Of course.
So go over
Okay.
here and type Excel way over there in your spotlight, in your search. Do you see my
Oh.
mouse way over there? Yeah. Go ahead and go in there and click on that and write Excel. Yeah, click on that and Excel, yeah. And then now Excel app. And Excel is
Yeah.
opening up. You see down there? Okay, so that's what's happening. Okay. It's opening. Give it a time. All right. And now over here, you can go to recent.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
Oh.
move this out of the way. Go to recent in Excel. Yeah,
oh,
just click on where my thing is. You don't need to move anything else. Click over here. Yeah. There, click on recent and click on that. And that's the one that you worked on last week. Well, and it looks like you didn't save it because this is still the old one. Go to format, it's still the original. Go to formatted. And let's see if you have anything there. You probably didn't save the file, but you know what? It's okay, because now you're in Excel. Before you were on the internet, which wasn't the Excel. So now you're doing fine. Go ahead and click over this and say say activate, although maybe it's because you haven't yet installed the application. Go over here to the far right. You might have Zoom in the way. And click on these windows here that say activate.
what do you mean activate?
You don't see here a little button. I'm pointing to it with an arrow. Look at where I'm pointing with my
Oh.
mouse. That says activate. Okay, do you see the word activate? And I just,
No.
you might have Zoom in the way. You need to bring your yeah, Excel over. Okay. Not so much. You don't want to lose all of your tools. Bring it back in. Yeah, click on it and drag it. So I need to be able to see the end over here. I'm gonna go ahead and give me a second here. Do you see a symbol? Do you see a request do you see that I sent you a
Yes.
request? Go ahead and say yes to that. Okay, and then
Yes.
don't move your mouse anymore for a second. Don't move your mouse. Don't move your mouse.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and for a second resize let's see. Come on. You need to grab it from the end over here or the bottom, any of the corners. And I don't have such control and
You want me?
drag it in. Okay, and then you can move it over like this. So now you can see all of your tools without hiding it under the Zoom stuff that you have over there. Okay. And I'm going to minimize everything else because you don't need anything else open and getting in the way. And now here we go. You have the unfinished file. You probably forgot to save at the end, and that's okay. This is where you're at. I'm going to stop your share. Oh, this is what I was saying. Do you want to try clicking on this activate, but it might just send us into, yeah, you need to still download the original Office. I had left you there where you had downloaded the one, so I'm not sure where you are with that. But for now, after break, if you want, after class, you stay a little bit more, I'll help you see what's happening with your install, because this is still the version that's not.
I have a newly installed Excel.
You do?
Yeah,
All right, so let me go back to your Finder window, see if we can find it. Let's go to your applications. Because only this one came up. So can you go up and down here and scroll, because my scroll doesn't work for you? I'm pointing to this area and scroll to see if you can find here. Look at my screen, look at the circle yeah, there. Can you scroll up and down until you see the folder called applications? There.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's go and see over here. That is the one we just opened. You said you have the new ones installed?
I think
That's
it's
the one you have
nearly-
open. I don't
Oh,
see it.
okay, so it's a new.
That's the one I'm finding. I don't see the other one. Just, let's continue with this one. I need to continue with the class. You've got one. After
This
break,
might-
I'll help you
this might
find it.
be- It's the new one.
Okay. No. If it is it, you would be able to, then you have to activate it, but I can't have you activate it now. I'll help you activate after class. Okay. All right. Good. Thank you. This is why the first setup was, I asked some people to start a little bit later, but now we're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and, just since quite a few of you guys are in the beginning one, I'm going to open a beginning version also. I know that many of you guys have completed it and you have the other one. It's okay. I'm going to share from the one that's not completed. That way everyone's at the same stage, meaning some of you have totals here, some of you don't. It doesn't matter. Now we're starting with the classwork for everyone, no matter which version you are using, okay? So, which version of file, I mean, no matter which version of file that you're using, we're all in the same spot right now. Okay, let me clear your answers so that the next time I clear your answers, one second, my chat. Then the next time that I ask you something, it'll be the new answers. All right. Cool. So since most of you have this information there, I'm going to do a short review of how to do this. This time we're going to do it the fast way. So in order to do the short review, I want you guys to select these totals. So click and drag and hit the delete key to get rid of them. And then click and drag and hit delete to get rid of them. We're going to do it the fastest way. I told you like 4 ways of doing that result. Now we're only going to repeat that in one way and one way only. And for you to learn the other 4 ways, you can watch the recordings and remember the other 4 ways. Okay. So once this is empty, and if you can't empty all of them at the same time, then if you hit the delete key and you can't empty them, then what you can do is you can head over to the top under cells, not delete. Oh, that's an important thing. I need to show you the difference between delete and clear. Actually, I'm glad that I tried to go there, because do you notice what's happening to my screen? I am suddenly seeing words, insert, delete, and all that kind of stuff. And then now I am making this smaller. And instead of seeing those words, I'm seeing just the word cells, just the word editing. And if I make it even smaller, because some of you guys are sharing the screen and you have even smaller, then A is getting collapsed, alignment is getting collapsed. That's because I have a small screen. So if I tell you go to fonts and you just see the A, you click on this and then you see all the tools. If I go to editing, then you see all these tools. Cells, you see all these tools, okay? But if I'm on a big screen and you can see them all, then they're not collapsed. They're open and ready to go. So just depending on when I say go here and click on something, remember, if you're in the version where it's collapsed, then you need to click on this to go to that, All right. All right. So I'm going to make it bigger so that I can have all the tools. And then I'm also going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see my example better. And another way of hitting, if you hit the delete key, sometimes that doesn't delete everything. Another way, and I'm going to delete these and bring them back again, is to go over here to the, this is the one that if you scroll up, it says editing, where it says, there's a little eraser here. And if you click on the eraser, you can say clear contents, clear contents. And then that will clear the contents. Now I'm going to do how do I get things back, guys? What's the undo shortcut?
Control Z.
Control Z if you're on a PC, Command Z if you're on a Mac. So now I'm going to bring this back. Okay. So don't panic, test this, but remember, because I want you to remember how to undo something. Now, if I select this whole thing and I go over here and say clear contents, just watch. Everything I've got is still there. I'm going to do Command Z. Look at the difference if I say clear all. Then I lost the lines, the colors, everything. So if I want to completely delete every single thing I have, I say clear all. I'm going to do Control or Command Z. If all I wanted to do is clear just the numbers, the dates, see how I kept all of the formatting, including the fact that this was formatted into $, and all that other kind of good stuff. So there's a difference between clear all or clear contents. So everyone, I want you to practice the clear all and the clear contents. The last option here is clear formats. And if I clear formats, it's the other way around. I lost all of the formatting, but I kept the contents. Does that make sense? So now Command Z. At this point, if everyone still has any contents in here, I want you to go and say, go and clear contents. But what I want is you also to clear these contents. And don't worry, it'll take 1 second to return them, but I'm going to teach you something new today, which is I want you to clear it. Since I couldn't get everyone to have the open one, which is fine, I'm just having you guys clear contents. Now, once you have cleared all the totals, then give me a yes. And I want you to have practice the difference between clearing contents, clearing formats, undo. See how this lost its $, it lost its colors, undo, clear contents. You still have the formatting, and clear all and Command Z. I need you to do those 3 things. When you got that and it worked, give me a yes. Kat, instead of the thumbs up, you'll notice that in 3 seconds, the thumbs up is going to disappear. So under the thumbs up, if you go down, you'll see the check mark. That's the one I need so that when I look at the group, I know that who's doing good. Elaine, how can I help?
Yes.
I see a yes. And Becky, I don't see a yes. And Alan,
Oh.
I don't. So either right, yes or no, or how can I help?
Got it.
Becky and Alan?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, then give me a yes. Don't forget, you guys, that I don't want to spend time asking you. If you got it, give me a yes. Alicia, how are you doing? Alicia, I know that you're saying yes in the chat. I just looked down. If you can say yes with your green check mark, it's easier. Otherwise, I need to remember that you've been writing in the chat because you don't have access. But ideally, you'll go find the button again. Okay, so everyone seems to have this. Good. One last very important thing is why not to use the delete, okay? So say that I decide to delete San Francisco, because instead of San Francisco, it should be New York, right? So instead of clearing contents or hitting the delete key, if I were to hit delete, so just watch closely what's about to happen. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. If instead of saying clear, or hitting the delete key, if I hit the delete key, San Francisco would disappear. Life is good. If I'd said clear contents, San Francisco would disappear. Life is good. Look what happens if I say delete this delete and I click on this delete. Can you tell what actually happened there? Do you see something weird? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to hit this delete right there. San Francisco disappeared, But what happened? Someone noticing?
The whole line disappeared.
Nope, not the whole line. In fact,
No?
that's the problem. If I had deleted the whole line, then 6,000, which belongs to San Francisco, and
Oh.
3,000, 4,000 would have disappeared. But by hitting the delete key, the cell, it's like it was chunked out and all of this floated upwards.
Oh.
So now it looks like LA had $6,000 expenses and Philadelphia had 5,000, which is incorrect. So when you delete a cell, it's like it disappears. And if this was water and all of these go whoop and they plop up, this moved up. And everything, the whole column has moved one up. I'm going to undo that. So test that. Go to San Francisco and hit this delete choice, not the delete from your keyboard. That one's good. That one's safe. And clear is also safe, right? But this delete is very dangerous. If that worked for you, that you saw how dangerous it is, go ahead and undo, and then do it with something else. What if I delete these numbers here? Watch again. I'm deleting the numbers from February with this delete key. What happened there? I'm going to do it again. Look at some numbers up here, 6, 3, 4. I'm going to delete all of these numbers from February with the delete key. What seems to have happened?
Marsh moved over.
It's like the entire, all the rows were extracted, and this time March moved over to February, okay? So when you delete cells, they get replaced either by, in this case, since I selected downwards, with the next thing that's selected downwards, or if I delete 6, 3, and 4, and I delete that, oh, I have some merged cells there. If I delete that, I'll explain why there's a merged cell in there, which is a big weird, and my selection is doing that, but never mind. So if say I delete these 3 and I hit delete on that, really? Say okay to that if you get it, and I'll tell you what a merge cell is later. I don't think I've explained it yet. So then when I deleted that row from Atlanta, everything went doot, 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 and moved up sideways, because since I went sideways and got a row, the row went up. Since I went lengthwise and hit delete for the column, the whole column moved over to the left, okay? So that's that's why you basically do not ever want to use this unless you strategically are trying to get that to happen. It would seem that then if I delete these using the delete key, you should be fine, because then things would move in from the left. But there, now what happened is it inverted. The delete key does weird stuff, okay? So not key, the delete choice up here does weird stuff. When you know how to control it, you know when it's good to use it, but for the most, you never want to use it until you're pretty clear what it does. You want to always hit delete with a key on your keyboard that says delete or clear contents. Those are the two you should be using. Okay, Nick, yeah?
So does the delete key, does that act more like a clear contents function?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, because notice, thank you, it does not take away the formatting. So if I delete from here with the key, I still have the formatting. So that is equivalent to clear contents only, okay? So yeah, great observation. If you want to clear formatting, this is the only place you can clear the formatting without getting rid of the contents. And if you clear all, it still is format and contents, but it doesn't like go into, it doesn't suck it into a vacuum where everything else kind of like takes its place. So these are all safe versions of the same thing, okay? So yeah, good point. The delete key, hit the delete key, it's the same as clear contents, the key on your keyboard. All right, cool. So that's a pretty big distinction. A lot of people mess things up because suddenly they use that because you see it there, and for some reason you use that. And then here it's pretty obvious what happened because it's such a small thing. But if I were to hit delete on this and you had a really, imagine you had 200 rows or even 20, 50 rows, you wouldn't have noticed this going up. Does that make sense? you wouldn't have seen the thing that now we are using to tell that this went up. And then I might easily continue working. Like if this was shorter, I wouldn't know the difference that Philadelphia in February is wrong, right? And that Chicago, basically February is wrong from Philadelphia down. So I'm gonna undo. The right number for Philadelphia should be 1100, but see how if I hit the delete key and I don't see the bottom physically, my brain has to know what I did. That's why just avoid it, because it's not as obvious always that something went wrong if you can't see the ends of the table. All right. Okay. So hopefully, we know not to use that now. What we will use to add these up, remember that I've taught you 4 ways by hand, 3 ways, sorry, by hand, 4. By hand, pointing and clicking, writing it in, and doing the sigma, although there's 2 ways to use the sigma. So that's 4 ways to do it. If you don't remember the 4 ways and you want to know the other 4 ways, you can watch the recording for last class. And Kat, I show you where to get the recordings for the classes later. But now we're going to do it only one way, which is we first select, and this is a reminder because from now we're going to move on to functions. These are formulas that the computer remembers. The formula that I type in is called the formula. The one that the computer remembers is called a function. So we're going to apply a function right now. And of all the functions that computer has, which is bazillions, there's only 5, which are these 5 under the sigma key right there, right above the clear, okay? These are the 5 that are called auto functions, automatic functions. These are the only 5 where you do not need to start with the equal sign. Anything else you do in Excel, you start with the equal sign except for these 5. So this time, since we're going to use those, we're not going to start with the equal sign. And we're going to select the place I want my result, click 1 time on this sigma key or sum, because the default sigma key is the sum. So we're going to add that up. It will automatically select what it thinks is the most logical thing, which is basically those 3 to the left. If that's correct, which it is, I will now hit the return key. And there's my answer. This is review. I'm going to do that one more time. By default, by hitting the return, that's already selected. I'm going to hit the sigma. It looks like it chose well. Hit the return. That's done. But this is where we're going to encounter a problem. I'm going to do this one more time. But Excel is going to do something different this time. I'm going to hit that same old sum. And now Excel goes, oh, the most logical thing for you to be wanting to add up is the 2 above me. But in reality, nope. I wanted, again, to continue with the 3 to the left. So who remembers how do I fix this? Hello? I want to fix this one. How do I fix it? Even if you say it's wrong. I'm sorry, Brenda, can you say that again?
By selecting the row that you want to scan or add.
Exactly. I need to go and click with my mouth and select that range. In this case, it happens to be a row. Click, click, click. Not click, click, drag, click and drag. And now I have corrected the range. Remember, this is a range. B7 through D7 is the range. Okay. It's declaring that from B7, which is the leftmost column, through D7, which is the rightmost column. That means in this case, there's only one, cell. That means that there's only one cell left, which is the one that it's ranging. Other cells, I could have said, no, I want you to add this up. And there it's going. It's giving me the range of B8 through D11. Remember, we always name a range by the topmost left cell to the bottommost right cell. If that's the number I want, that's good. But nope. And that's the number that Excel guessed. Nope. what I want is this. So see how no matter what I select, this keeps changing up until I go, yeah, that one's right. Now hit return. Okay. So if you did this correctly, hit the sum key and corrected it and hit return. And that's working for you and life is good around this, give me a yes. If something's not working and you need a hand, give me a no, because then we're working. Now we're going to move into a different way of doing things. So I want this one to be like, yeah, I got it. Pat down. I understand. I was able to correct it. Life is good. If so, give me a yes. So Elaine and Brenda and Alicia and Alan. If you did it, give me a yes. If you didn't do it and need a hand, either raise your hands or say no.
Uh,
Alan, do you want to share
uh,
your screen so I can help you with this?
Okay.
Right? I'm gonna stop my share. Remember you guys that the fastest way to move on is for you to share the screen so that I can help you. And all right, so share your screen. There we go. All right, so put your mouse in the right there. Yeah, click. Okay, now go up to your over there on the far right top. There it is. Click on that. Sigma. And now you need to go and select the row that goes from Philadelphia to the total, like what 1100. So go up to to go to B7. That one, click and drag all the way. The 3 that are needed to be added, click and drag there. You go and stop there. Perfect. A lot of people continue and include the formula into it, and that's a mess, but you stopped at the right place. You check B7 to D7. It looks good. Hit return. Ready to go.
Okay.
All right. So that worked. Okay. For those of you who are adventurous and while you were waiting, you completed it. Yay, that's good. But hold on, because I'm trying to teach you a different way. Last week, we did go on to complete it because that's what we were learning. But this time, hold on. Now, the last thing that I showed you last week, again, the last bit of review is that instead of doing all of this, I could have just done it one time. And then what's the name of this little thing right there that I'm pointing to? That thing, who remembers the name of that tool? Right there. That tiny little darker dot on the bottom right.
Yeah.
The name, what's that?
I don't remember.
All right, and this is why when I say you guys say things during class, because when I say them, if you repeat them out loud, it helps your brain fix them, or write them in the chat, or write them on a notepad. But go ahead and write and say things so that you remember. It's the fill box. And we did a whole exercise on fill box where we found all the beauties and marvels of fill box, which it does incredible things. But in this case, and that's something we did last week. I'm not going to review that again. But in this case, I do want to review that if you select a formula, this is the result, but it really is the formula, and grab the fill box and pull down, it transfers the formula. It transfers it all the way through. And notice that when I do this, since I'm coming from a place without formatting, when I go one further and finish here, it actually erased the formatting on that last one because it brought the formatting over from this one. Okay, so it copies not only the formula, but it also inherits the formatting. All right. Now we didn't necessarily want the formatting with all of the dollar symbols like these don't have. Then we're gonna change that. But for now, since we pulled it from here, it's going to have that formatting. On the other hand, when I did this here on my own and hit return, this one did not have the formatting of $sign. So if I pull it from here, it's not going to give me the dollars. So not only does it copy the formula, but as you can see, it also copies the formatting of the file of the cell that you pulled the box from. All right. Once again, this is review up until now. I had not shown you last week that the formatting also gets copied, but That's just another detail. All right, so that's good. If I pull this one down, is this number correct? Yes,
No?
Yeah,
Yeah. it is, because what this formula is asking, and how do I see the formula here again? How do I don't want to go up there to see the formula. How do I see the formula here that's giving me a 0?
you click on it.
No, I've clicked on it, not helping. What do I need to do? I want to see the formulas instead of the numbers. How do I do that?
Hmm.
Anyone remember? I don't want to have to travel all the way there to the formula bar to see the formula that's in here. I want to see it right here. I double click. And there I see the formula. I'm gonna hit escape to leave it. I double click, hit escape, double click, hit escape. If the technical name of this matters, this is called rangefinder, which is kind of silly. We never seen it, but this feature that I'm just showing you, where when you double click, you see the range that's been selected. That's the rangefinder feature. Right now, just basically double click. And there's the formula. So if I double click on the 0, it's telling me that this is correct, because basically I'm adding 0 plus 0 plus 0. So escape key to leave, the answer, the result is 0. So that's correct. I'm going to go ahead and let you practice that yourself, that you double click and you see it. And the most important thing is, don't click somewhere else, because then you might be changing the mess. Remember to leave by hitting escape. Top left key of your keyboard, that's your escape key. All right, good. So this was the best way to not have to write the formula again and again and again. Over here, we're gonna do exactly the same thing, but no, actually, I'm gonna do it here. Let's delete all of this one more time, or undo. If you undo, then you keep that formatting. And now this is absolutely new. Absolutely new. So I want everyone, I'm going to clean your feedback. If anything that I just did didn't work, if you're behind and need a hand, a pointer, share your screen before we start on something completely new, this is the time to tell me that. And if all is good and I don't see any raised hands, then make sure you're at this point where you delete again all of these. You can delete the top one too. I don't know why I went to just one too. Hit the delete key. And now I'm going to show you how to do this in a very different way. So that was the auto function, right? And for those of you who continue with the handout, the homework last week, these were the other auto functions: average, max, min, count. For now, we're going to ignore those. We're going to continue with the basic sum. All right. Excel has bazillions of other kind of calculations it can do. These are the most used one, which is why it added the auto version of them, because for most people, this is almost enough for how they use Excel. But when you want something outside of that, well, here we go. It says more functions, right? Let's click on more functions, and you have something come up, which is a formula. But if you're on a PC, it kind of floats instead of being here. Anyway, these are all things that you're like, well, these are words. These are not, what's this? Well, look at how many of these things I'm coming up with. It's ridiculous. It doesn't stop how many I have. I'm going to close this again and show you how I got to that. I went to, after I got done down the row of the auto ones, I clicked on more functions. Now, some people are confused with the word function and formula, and I'm not using them exchangeably, but sometimes it seems that Excel does. Because here it says more functions, and yet this is called the formula builder, right? So it's like, is it a function? Is it a formula? How confusing. Well, the way I look at it and the way I explained it to you is that when you create it yourself, and I'm going to go back here. Remember how we did the equals this plus this plus this? I'm handwriting it. I just handwrote a formula. I hit return. It's correct. I hand wrote a formula. But when I hit this sum function there, that is something that Excel memorized. In fact, it's written differently. It doesn't say equals this plus this plus this. It's written by having the equals and then what I call the call letter, so to say, and then the range. And Excel memorized and know how to do that. That's a function. You get the same exact result, but that's the distinction if you want between formula and function. Function exists as a memorized by Excel. A formula you create yourself. Doesn't matter so much that you remember that distinction, other than that sometimes you'll see the word formulas, like up here in the bar, I see formulas, and I go over here, and this is similar to what I just showed you in the home tab. You had to go over there to find more functions, and it appeared over here. I'm going to close this, close it out. But there's an entire insert. There's an entire tab here. After home, I can click on insert and draw, page layout, formulas. There's so many different tools that I have an entire tab dedicated just to creating formulas. And yet, once I insert this formula, and let me go, you stay here. But even here, had I said more functions, and if I found one here, when I find the one I want, it would say insert function. You see that? So the word formula and function is, I build a formula myself. Function is the one that the computer memorizes. All right. So in this formula bar, it separates the possible functions into types. So financial functions, if I click over here, these are all functions to calculate stuff that is way beyond my non-accountant kind of brain to even know what these do. So many of these, you would have no idea what they do. Unless you are someone who works in that field. Logical, you go over here, and if error, text, exact, mid, lower. So there's tons of these words. So how do we make these words work? How do we make these functions work? Okay. So right now I'm not choosing any, I'm just showing you. And then if you want even more, math and trigonometry, right? If you want any more than all of these, you would go to more functions, and there's bazillions even more for engineering. I mean, it's ridiculous how many thousands of functions that the computer has memorized. And all we're doing is sum, right? But Excel can get to very complicated depths of calculations. Now, with the delete everything and just using again the simple sum function, this time we're going to bring it in as if it was not an automatic formula. So instead of clicking on that little plus sign or sum sign, which is the sigma, instead of doing that, we're going to hit the equals to start with, because now we're not creating the formula. That would have been writing this plus this plus this. That would create writing the formula. We're not using the auto function, which would have meant don't start with the equals. This time, we're going to call up the sum function the way you would call up any of those other millions of formulas that Excel has in its program. So we start with equals. Remember, the only time we don't do equals is for those 5. So we start with equals. And now, technically, you would know the name of some of these functions. If you were that engineer who needs to do that thing, you would know what it is. And we all know that the sum function starts with sum because we saw it before. So let's start writing S. Okay, so over here, I'm going to write the S. And when I start writing the S, any possible function that starts with the letter S comes up. But even though I see some right there, I'm going to narrow it down by going SU. And by now, there's only all these functions that start with a U, the sum if, the substitute, right? So if I know all 3, that's good. But since this is it's there, I can see it. I can just click on the word sum. Then it filled itself in. So let me show you again. S, U, and if I go ahead and write M, it might not bring in the function. even if I know it was SUM. Then I'll have to create the function myself and type in the parentheses. So even if you write the whole thing, you need to now click on to this for it to transform into the actual function. Okay, one last time. And by the way, I noticed Carrie, you just arrived. Hi, Carrie. Is this someone called Carrie or is this someone else's computer called Carrie? Just to know or be clear, can you unmute yourself? I'm looking at the roster here for a second because I need to have your last name. So who's Carrie? Smart. Okay, Carrie Smart. I know you're new to us right now, Carrie. So if you're a little bit lost, don't worry, I'll help you catch up. But for now, I'm going to add the last name to your video so that I can see who you are on the roster later. And Alan, and Carrie, hang in there. I'll tell you where we are, but first I need to continue with this. Okay. I see what you wrote, Carrie, in the chat. Thank you. All right. So back to what I was saying. This time we're going to call up the function by saying equals, and then we start typing those, what I call letters, S, and if I still don't see it, some have like M or whatever, there's a ton. If it's an S, if I see it, I go right there. I don't need to keep writing. I click on sum from there. And now it's describing to me in these little instructions down there, it's describing to me what you do. It goes bold and it says, you need to put number 1 in here. That's what it's telling you. So I'm like, oh, okay. There, and I click on number 1. Then I have to put in the colon.
Oh.
And then click on the last number, and then I make it that way. Or I could have just clicked and dragged to give it all of them. Does that make sense? So I either have to write the B5 semicolon D5, or what I prefer, just as we did before, I tell it what I'm trying to add. And then the final step, and this is warning me that I need to do, is to put in another parentheses, to close the parentheses. And when I'm done with that parentheses, now I hit return. And there it is. I have just added that up using a formula. Now, since we have the auto formula, this seems so much more complicated, right? Because we already done it the auto way. But I'm walking you through the steps so that later we'll know how to call up any of all these formulas. All you need to do is equals. And if you know that the one you need to use is Bixtor, you start writing B-I-T, and then this clicks in and you click on it. Does that make sense? So all the rest of these that we're going to use are going to be called equals whatever it is that we have. So we're going to practice a little bit more, but walk all the way down to where it says today's date. Click in here on today's date. Oh, there's a problem here that these have been, it's all right. These have already been merged, but ignore them for now. Forget the fact that it is grabbing 2. And let's just find what would the formula be for Excel to give me this date. I'm going to hit, how do I start a formula?
Equals.
Equals. And remember, I'm not going to type it in myself. I'm going to use, like before, I didn't type in 25 plus 2000. I used the cell references. So here we're going to use the formula. I'm going to start with equals, and I'm going to write TO. And look at that. There's a function called today.
Oh,
This is one of those date and time formulas. So now I'm going to hit the word today. And in this case, it's warning me over there. All you need to do, see, give me a little sample, just close the parentheses and hit return. And there it is. It knows that today is July 17th, 2024.
ah,
There's one that's kind of similar. Not really, but I'm going to hit equals and I'm going to write now. And there's so many N's that when I go NO, there's now. And I'm gonna click and I'm gonna hit return, and this is a bit more precise. It's not only today, but it's today at 1:56 p.m. So I'm gonna do that again. This is doing the same thing we did there with the call function where we did equals and we started writing SU and hit on sum. This one we needed to give information, hit the parentheses and hit return, and that worked. For those of you who already got the
Mhm.
bottom and the front, please practice that again and again. And now I'm going to do this one. Equals TO. There's today. Close the parentheses and hit return. And on this one, we did equals. Now,
I'm talking to you. Hello?
parentheses and close. Kat, are you saying hello? Are you talking
Yeah.
to me?
I have a question, because I'm doing exactly what you're doing, but my function is keeps picking hashtag name, etc.
Okay, so can
Or
you share
question
your
mark.
screen? Because this is when I need to see stuff. So good. Do you know
I
how to share
think-
your screen?
It was happening to me too. I think you have to double click on the function.
Double click on the function.
Oh, if you're on a
Oh,
PC, you're,
okay.
you're right. If you're on a PC, you need to double click on the function. I forget.
Okay.
On a Mac, it's single click. On a PC, thank you. It's double click on the word now or double click on the word some.
Hmm,
I forgot to mention that. Is that working now?
it, I'm on the part where you're selecting and you
Go
press.
ahead and share your screen.
choose-
Here's the thing.
Okay,
I know
mm.
you're new to the class and you don't know that, but the
Okay,
fastest way for
share.
me to help
Okay.
is for you to share your screen. That's the fastest way. Because when you describe it, I can't necessarily see.
Where, this one?
And Kat, are you getting help from someone else and you're talking to someone else?
No, there's people in this room. That's why I have to
Got
mute
it, got it. But then you, the person who I'm talking to,
Mhm.
are you share
There.
your perfect. Because if some people don't know how to share a screen, and I need to walk them through it, but you do know how to do it. Okay. So there we go. Double click on today. And now hit your return
Okay,
key and there
got
it
it.
is. Okay. And I can see that you are
I have to leave it too. Sorry.
no, that's fine. Then you have to, when I say that's fine, there's not the complete answer. You need to watch the recording of the rest of the class. That way next week you're caught up. And then
I just have a question. Isn't this class until 2? That's what it said in the,
it's still 2:45.
so when I registered, it said 12:30 to 2. But that's incorrect?
It's probably you're distinguishing between lab and lecture or something like that. Because let me,
It's okay. I'll just,
no,
I'll-
no, but I'm gonna explain, and this is for everyone because this happens a lot. And it's not you or anyone's fault. If you're gonna leave, please do a screenshot of these formulas that you just did and then you'll have to post them in here. But yeah, the way the schedules work is they give you different timings in here, and when it's lab lecture, which Excel, no, it only just says 12:30 to 2:45. But when it's lab lecture, it'll say 9 to 11, 11 to 12. It's 9 to 12 is the time the class, okay? So in this case, that's the schedule. And yeah, I don't know, maybe it got adapted between when you signed
yeah,
up.
I didn't, okay.
That's the schedule. So the request, and just before you leave, is that in the case that you can't, I'm gonna go, sorry, to pipe I need to share from my other screen. What you need to do during the week is you're gonna log in, you're gonna log into your pipeline and you're going to go again to student resources. And Carrie, I know that this is your first time here, so this part, please pay attention. You go into your pipeline, you go into your Google Drive. I'm going to talk to you a bit later, Carrie, but right now I'm just, you go into your shared drives. And here is your Excel 1, 2, 3, which is where we downloaded the class files. So Carrie, if you were able to follow that, I need you to download these class files. If not, I'll walk you through it at the end. But then over here, you'll see this file, Zoom class recording links and Zoom the two. So if you double click on Zoom class recording links Excel 2 right now, there's nothing there because this class is still not over, but this whole class is being recorded and you'll have the link there of all of the links, as in, here's the class recording Zoom links 1, and here the recording of the first 3 days, Excel 1. So I want you to go and make sure that you go. The recordings are the entire class. So after, when you have a chance during the next couple of days, because we'll see you on Thursday, go and click on this link that'll appear there after tonight, and then watch the last 45 minutes, okay? And then Carrie and both of you guys, if you can, watch these, but I don't know, I need to first see what your level is. Maybe you don't need to watch all 3, but if, like today, I was explaining all the 4 ways of entering formulas. If that's something you don't know, then head over to day 3 and look at the other ways of entering formulas, because by now we're only doing 1. And then the last thing is go ahead and let's post to the Padlet. So the first thing you need to do, and everyone, before you have to leave, when you have to leave early, make sure to finish up by posting on Padlet. So if you click on the link that I just put in the chat, it'll take you to this Padlet. All right. And how you post here is by, you're gonna click on the plus sign that you see at the way bottom. Some people see it in the middle bottom. Some people see it in the way top bottom right, and there's a plus sign. You'll click on that. And here you need to put your name. Okay. So if you don't put a name, it'll say anonymous, and then I won't know who it's from. So you'll put your name, and then you will explain what you're posting, like formatting or formulas or functions. And then if you're on a Mac or on a PC, it's if you just copied the screenshot, you would just paste it. And if you made a screenshot that went into your downloads folder, to your screen, into your desktop, for example, you'll click over onto this first purple choice. You'll go find your screenshot, and then you'll upload it. This is a screenshot from the other day. And you'll upload it, and then you'll press publish. And there's your screenshot showing that you did the work. I'm going to delete this one now because this wasn't from today, but that's how you make a post. Okay. So those of you who miss a class or come into a part of a class, you still have to do the recording and do the work and post it, because this is part of a certificate, and this is the only way I know that the work is happening. Okay. So ideally you will write a little line of what it is that you're doing. So here you put your name up there. Becky.
Yes.
Instead of editing like that, just so you know, you can hover over this post of yours, click on edit, it opens up again, and then you can put your name there and put that there. And then you just showing you that everyone can update their things to post what it is that you're posting. Like over here, I think, Elaine, you were posting the fill box last week, stuff like that. So it would help if you know what you're doing. And then Nick, I see that you posted the homework, which you just did. So that's good. All right. So everyone, before you go, please post today's, or right now, the sum function. And how would you catch that function? You would have to, I'm going to go into Excel. And one way to do this is to double click on one of these, for example, and to do a screenshot where this is shown. Or over here, if you're looking now, we know for the average, you go equals, and then you start writing right? And so this would be a great screenshot right now, before I continue, to show that I'm finding the function versus using the average automatic button. Then I click on average.
I have a
In
question.
this case, I need to select what I'm trying to average, close the parentheses, and hit return. So at this point, using functions, we're going to complete this one more time. Yes, who said they had a question?
I do.
Yep.
So wouldn't I just watch the entire class later and fill out this, this spreadsheet, then send a screenshot to you?
Yes and no, but since you already did this and you have it open and ready to go, you can start you putting with that one now. But if you want to do it later, you're welcome to do it later. That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Here, just do it now, but if you need to go, put them all in later. Perfect. Thanks for asking. All right. That said, remember that last week our classes were much longer. It went an hour extra. This week, the class is much shorter. So midway, I should have given you a break and it's already past midway. And it's so short that I can't give you 15 minutes like before. So we're gonna just take a really short, let's do 5 minutes this time. In the future, it'll be more like 5 to 10. But right now, let's take off for 5 minutes. So it's 2:07. Carrie, don't leave. I'm gonna talk to you. Be back. It's 2:07. It's gonna change to 2:08 in a minute. So be back at 2 is it 2:13 p.m. So that's 7 it's 5 minutes. All right. And then meanwhile you all take a break. Let me give a connect with Carrie. So hi Carrie. Are you there? I can't hear you. Can you unmute yourself if you were there? Carrie? Uh-oh. Either you're not unmuting yourself or you're walked away. And I was giving a break so I could connect with you to catch you up. Oh, well, I guess I can't. All right, so I'm gonna still take a couple minutes. So everyone be back in 5 or at this point, a bit less than 5.
On a break. On a break. Yeah. All right. So I'm back. Hopefully you are all back again. It was the miniest mini break, but I need to change my alarms because it's still set to give you a break for the class last week, but we have an extra hour. Carrie, are you back? Are you here? I was trying to, during the break, talk to you, but I don't see you answering, so I'm not sure if you can hear me. If you're trying to talk, you are muted. Since I didn't get a chance to connect with you now, my request, if you're hearing me, Carrie, is that when the class is over at 2:45, please stay so I can connect with you to see how I can help you, so I can know where you are and help you catch up and get the files, etc., so that we can all continue the class next week. All right. I'm going to share my screen again. So hopefully, within your 5 minutes, you were able to post. These are not new posts. There's only a couple of new posts from Nick and Becky. So either I didn't refresh or you guys didn't post yet. Let me see and let me refresh. Okay, here's another one from Becky. No, that's your correction. So guys, don't forget to post screenshots. All right. Let's continue with Excel. And this is how do you call it? I'm sorry, my brain is going. Looking at the class files that we downloaded. Before we continue into something new, I want us to open a file from the new set of files because I want to make sure that everyone has them and that they're openable. And I'm going to show you a couple new things because the new files begin to have more material. Okay. And that's what we're going to be opening first. So you will notice that there's a file in the class files, and let me share my Finder window. Hold on. So let's go to your Finder or to your, if it's not your Finder, then go to your
Download.
oh, sorry, let me share the screen so you see. To your File Explorer for those of you who are on a PC. We're gonna go to your File Explorer here. I was just opening my Finder window. And if you still have them in the downloads, because you just downloaded them, there's the Excel 2 class exercises. So please double click on that. And notice that the majority of these files say .xlsx, which is the extension that all Excel files use. So at the end of it, it says .xlx. XLSX is like a tongue twister. But some of you guys have your computer set up to not show you the extensions. If so, and you can't see the extensions, then hopefully over here you have something that tells you that it's an Excel workbook or something like that. If not, I can show you Mac or PC how to turn on the feature to be able to see extensions. Now,
The only reason I'm saying this mainly at this point is A, because you need to know what's the extension for an Excel file, but also because notice that the first one up in top is not an XLSX. This is a CSV, and a CSV is also a spreadsheet, and it's a spreadsheet. CSV stands for comma separated values. I think it's values or venue. Yeah, comma separated values. So basically, this is a generic spreadsheet, a CSV, and that it can be open in any type of database, not just in Excel. So if you have like, if you're on a Mac and you have numbers, if you use Google Docs and you use Sheets, if you use LibreOffice or something else, whatever you use, CSV would open in any data sheet program. XLSX, you have Excel. So if I now want to open this one, I can either double click on it, and for 90% of you, that'll open up in the correct Excel. But in case you're not too sure on a Mac, for example, if you have a different version of Excel or whatever, then if you double click on this on a Mac, it's going to open into Numbers, which is the Mac version of this. To avoid it opening up in Numbers, you want to right click and say open with, and see it's going to open with Numbers by default, and go down and say open with Excel. So PC people, if you double click, it'll probably just open into Excel, because the Windows doesn't have a native program to deal with it, but the Mac does. So to avoid it opening up in Numbers, you're going to right click and say open in Excel. Okay. So once you do that and you open this file, then it should open up in Excel. And I'm going to share my screen because it just opened up. And here we go. That's the file that just opened up. Once you have this file opened up, please give me a yes, that this is open. And if you don't know how to open up or how to open it up and it needs to open inside of Excel, then give me a no. So right now, what's happening is when I say yes or no, Carrie, this is what I need people, how I need people to answer, so that I'm not always having everyone speak up. Rather, if everyone says yes with the little reactions buttons in the Zoom, it means give me a green check mark. And you can see how people have given me green check marks. That means that yes, they got it open. If someone hasn't answered, like Becky, I'll ask her, hey, Becky, did it work for you? Or Brenda, hey, Brenda, did it work for you? If something's going wrong and you can't open it because you don't know, then you give me a no. If you're just not answering, then I'm going to call on you. So Becky, did you open this file? And if
No,
not,
I'm just got back, and so I'm looking for it now.
oh, got it. Okay, so in your Finder window in your downloads, we did move them. No, you moved it into your desktop. Excel 2. Right click, open in Excel. And then Brenda, are you there?
I am, but I'm trying to open it. I can share my screen. Hold on, just a second.
Let me stop my share. You guys always have to warn me when you're sharing because I need to first stop mine. Yeah, go for it, Brenda.
Okay.
Okay, so exercise class 2.
But it won't open.
Right, go ahead and let me see, you're in a PC, right click
Right click.
and say open. See how 2 down it says open. Look, no, in your case, yeah, open with Excel, but open it already shows you Excel. So there.
It just brings up this. Am I blocking it somewhat, some other way?
Underneath, go to the word, to the icon of Excel and hover. Oh, it's the only one that's open. Go ahead and close, save and close the file that we've been working on to see if
Okay.
it's blocking or something. Make sure you save it and click on the
Yes,
X.
hold on. I'm
Mhm.
trying to.
Yeah, you have,
My
yeah.
my thing is blocking it. Let me see. I'm gonna stop share.
Okay.
Let me save it.
Zoom things there blocking you, yeah. That's strange that it wouldn't open. If not, go from file, from Excel.
Look at what it
No,
gave
it-
me when I click
It's
save.
not your share, so hold on.
It says
Um,
possible data loss.
you're on your own Excel version?
Well,
You're
no,
on PDI.
I'm using my work computer. Remember, I have an old Excel on my
Yeah,
Mac.
yeah,
So this is my work computer.
okay, but
Um,
it is Excel, you're not on the internet, so.
No,
There's some features, possible data loss, save in Excel format. It should have been already, but never mind, go ahead and say save as, because
save as.
I think it's
Okay.
because since you have an older version, it can't keep all the features that I'm asking you to keep. So then save as and,
Save. Yes.
yes. And there you go. So now this one, make it bigger, and that's the file. So you
Okay.
guys, she has a very, she has, been told, so see if the, let me just point again to the top. It says, if you guys can't read that yellow thing, can you point to the yellow thing? It says possible data loss. Some features might be lost if you save this workbook in the comma delimited format, CVS format, which is the one that you guys
Open.
just open. To preserve these features, save it in an Excel format. So what it's saying is, don't save it again as a CVS. You're going to save as an Excel, and we're going to do that at the end. So that's what that description is, okay? I'm going to stop my share and share mine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And here's mine. Where's my Excel? Here we go. Over here, it's telling me that too. Because when you open a CVS in Excel, it's basically saying there's stuff Excel does that CVS doesn't. So if you do stuff that CVS can't save, you're going to lose it once you save again as a CVS. So it's basically telling you, please convert me into Excel. Does that make sense? Excel is much more advanced. And if I use a feature that CVS can't save, if I were to save it again as a CVS and just close it, when I open it up, that feature that I used will be, would have been eliminated. So it's warning you that once you finish working with it, don't do a save, do a save as and transform it into Excel, which is, yes, it's what we're going to do. We want to have any CVS files that we work in Excel, we're going to save as again into Excel. That said, if you need to share this file with someone else and they don't have Excel, if you save as a CVS and send it to them, it's better than nothing, right? They might have the stuff or they might not. Okay. So does everyone have this one open now? I would assume everyone except for Carrie would have it open. All right, so I'm going to clean your answers. And this is actually, interestingly enough, I have deleted all the personal information, but this is how I get the rosters from you guys, right? That when people sign up, this is a roster I received. And I've deleted any personal information from the ID and all the city and state and whatever. But notice that this is a whole bunch of data. Because up until now, we've been using, you know, A, B, C, columns, D, max, a couple of rows. And this is a small class. It only has 18 people. Sometimes I have, you know, 30 people in a class. So each column has one item of information. The biggest mistake people make in Excel would be, I'm going to open a new sheet. Remember, open a new sheet, and I'm going to show you. A lot of the times, people will write, for example, and I know this sounds, now that I'm teaching you this, but might say, Mrs. Jane Doe, right? And then underneath, they might write 102 State Street, right? They might write California 93101. And I know this sounds weird, but I can't tell you how many times someone calls me and wants to pay me to help me figure out how they can get, say, their marketing out, because all of their information from their clients is set in this format. Maybe they brought it in from Word and they didn't do it correctly. And the whole point is that it shows up like this. It's one same column. has information from one same person in 3 different rows. This is equivalent to Excel having no idea how to handle it. You need to have all the data that has to do with one item, in this case, client. It has to be either all in one row or all in one column. You wouldn't want to use different rows or different columns, like if this, different columns for the same information. So you wouldn't, if you have it all over here, this could not be anything other than a different set of data. So that's what this is. It says term, CRN, and this entire column has only CRNs and nothing but CRNs. And this row 2 has all the information that belongs to Jenny Altamirano. And this is all the information that belongs to Shanti Fukasaku in one entire row, no matter how long it gets, because some people, you need a lot of information from them. So you can have a ton of columns, but the important thing is that this column only have zip codes. This one only have addresses. And in fact, remember here I wrote Mrs. Jane Doe. Normally you would have first name and last name. And if you're going to use the salutation, then you would have salutation, first name, last name. So if it says Mr., Mrs., Miss, whatever, any of that, you would have to put it in there. And we don't use that one much anymore, but some people, some places, they're still very conservative and they still will use that, especially if it's like a client database, right? It's your clients and you want to put in there. So we have to have a whole bunch of databases, and these are called fields, okay? Each one of this is one record, and this is one field. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and a record is a row. So this is Jenny Altamirano's record. This is Teresa Curry's record, okay? And I want everything that's usually, I go to 5. If I want a field, would be the column. So this is the field last name, this is the field first name, this is the field ID. Does that make sense, you guys? Columns, when I say field, it basically is the description of what's in that column. That's the field. And this is the actual record. Even it goes in for like bazillions of columns. Okay. All right. Now, let me scroll down a little bit again, zoom out a little bit. So this is what's happening. If I want to see, what time is it? 2:30. I'm so lost for the time. Because this is a new time, I need to look. Oh, only 15 more minutes. Okay. We're going to learn how to navigate amongst big files next class. We have other big files here. So I'm going to tell you how to handle the fact that you're trying to look at Andrew's, you know, sequence and you lost Andrew, right? And what day did he sign up? Who was that? Oh, Andrew's over there. Like instead of one way obvious would be select and then you scroll and then that tells it to you. But you can't have everything selected all the time. And if you lose the fact that this was Andrew because you clicked away, you're again like, which one was Andrew? I can't tell. So there's a way to handle that. And we're going to learn that next week. Right now, what we're going to learn is how to add and take away cells and rows. So say that, as you can see, this is in alphabetical order by last name. If you look at all the different things that are happening here, the first names, there's no alphabetical order. Preferred name. By the way, you guys know that there's a place in Pipeline where you can write your preferred name. So, well, she's gone, but Catherine wants to be called Cat. You can write a choice of Cat, and then we teachers would see that you prefer to be called Cat, or, you know, if you're Patricia and you want to be called Pat or something like that. Or totally different. My husband's name is Harold. The official name he would be registered in would be Harold, but everyone calls him Jack. So if I'm in class and I'm calling him Harold, he probably wouldn't even respond. So then you in Pipeline can put in the word Jack in there. If you go in, if you know where to put in your information, that's good. Otherwise, hang in there and after class, I'll show you. But then I would get your preferred name there. Now, say that this one over here is something I don't need anymore for some reason. I would delete this column. This is middle initial. Say that I don't need the middle initial column. How to delete this column I would go and first select the column by selecting it by the actual letter. Then I can right click and say delete, but pay attention to what's going to happen. What happened there?
Everything got moved over.
Yeah, so this is what I showed you earlier. It's not that I just select middle initial and hit delete and the column is still there. I'm talking about not wanting the column. So this is a bit the same of the delete as this delete. So if instead of saying right click delete, I go and click on this delete, that's basically what happened. The whole column got deleted and now what used to be, and I'm going to undo, what used to be that column J used to be major and column K used to be phone. Then by hitting this delete or saying right click delete, which is why the word delete and clear are so different, then now K instead of being phone is now mail and J instead of being major is now phone. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Which in this case, let's get rid of ID now and right click delete or hit the delete and there we go. We got rid of ID and now this data is connected to that data. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Is that working?
yes.
Yes.
All right. What if I look at that and I go, oh no, I still need their ID number. I need to put the ID number, but I don't want it where it was. I want the ID number to show up after their name, before the major, for example, or I want the ID number to show after the CRM before the D. Like I don't want it to be in the exact same place. So Command Z wouldn't work, right? And maybe I deleted the column 2 days ago, then the Command Z would only stay if I don't close this file. So I need to add a different column in here. So what I need to do is I need to select the column after where I want it to appear. So if I want it to appear after G, between G and H, then I need to select H. If I want the column to appear in between D and E, I'm going to select column E. If I want this new column to appear between B and C, I need to select C. So now let's go ahead and select H because I want the column to appear right there. Now I can either right click and insert, and I've inserted a column, or I could go up here to where it says insert right above delete and say insert column, right? Insert column. And now same thing, short right click insert or insert column. Now, if I did want ID again, I can write ID again there because I just, made a mistake. I didn't want to delete it. All I wanted was to move it. And anyway, there it is. Okay. Did that work? To insert a column? Now, I want you guys to answer. If you're not answering out loud, then answer in the chat. If I want to insert a column between B and C, what column should I select?
C.
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 Select C, right click, insert, boom. And this one, I don't care what this one might be, a test, whatever. Okay, that's the thing. But this is important to always have a name for my field. So this would be what describes what's going to be held in here. This first row is very important because it tells me what this is versus what that is versus what that is, right? So this can be, I don't know, room number, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying whatever it might be, it needs to say something. If not, there's no point to have this one and I will never understand. Maybe it's a cost or something. I don't know. Let's put in something in there. Okay. All right. By the same token, if I now want to insert a student called Jane Doe comes to class, if I put her information here, would that be correct? If I decide to put Doe Jane right there and say that I have all the rest of the information, would that be the correct place to put her in?
No, you need alphabetically.
Because in this case, when this is sorted alphabetically, this would matter, right? So what that means is that I might need to add a row in between Curry and Din. Does that, no, actually is Jane Doe in between Din and Fukasaku. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So just like before, if I need to put something between Din and Fukasaku, I need to now insert the furthest one. Just like before we did between D and E, I select the E. Now I'm gonna go between Curry and Fukasaku. I need to select Fukasaku, row 7. And now right click and insert, and it inserted a row. Now notice that it doesn't say insert row or column. It knows because I pre-selected a row that if I insert, I just insert a row. Versus if I pre-select a column, then it just inserts a column, because that's what matters. But if I go up here to the word insert, then it tells me insert sheet rows, okay? Or when I was over here, it said insert sheet columns, all right? So hopefully by now, everyone has created a new space in the right spot, because Doe would be after Din and before Fukusaka. And now let's write Doe, tab, Jane. And yeah, I know that I'm not gonna add all the rest of the data, but I'm showing you how to then put things in the right order. Then we can rearrange this order. We're gonna learn about sorting and stuff. But right now, the most important thing is learning that you can insert when you add and take away, which is different than sorting. Sorting means I can sort this by first name instead of by last name. Then I would have A, B, C, D, probably A, Andrew would be at top. And then Charles would be next and so on. And then Carolyn would be actually after Andrew and so on and so forth. And if I do that, everything shifts, okay? Not just this one, but everything that goes along with it. Do I have time to show you that really quickly? No, I do. So let's do this. Let's say that we want to sort this by first name. Oh, but I won't be able to have time to deal with the complication. Okay, so let's say, I'll tell you why. You'll see. I'm going to sort this by first name, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click anywhere in this cell, not in the field name, but anywhere in the cell, anywhere in the column. I'm sorry, not the entire column. No, just select first name, any cell in the column of first name. And now, when I get a head over next to the sigma, next to the clear on the right side, there's this thing called sort and filter. And if I just by default do nothing else, then just simply click on that one time. Oh, it won't do it. It'll make me choose sort A to Z. Okay, then I thought you could just click on it. I think on the PC, you just click and it works. On the Mac, it gives you this and you have to say sort A to Z. All right. So what should have happened right now, we should have, hold on, let's check. Let's check the names. Andrew's last name is Lotwin. Okay, Lotwin, right? So I sort A to Z, and what matters is that Andrew came with Lotwin and all of their data, their own address. So it didn't only sort this scale. Otherwise, Andrew might have ended up being Andrew Altamirano, and Carolyn would have been Carolyn Sandoval, right? And all this would have been messed. No, by sorting by first name, everything else worked by resorting itself. But look at how interesting. F name starts with an F, but it didn't get sorted. You would think, I mean, the only difference here is it's upper name, uppercase, lowercase, but why didn't F name appear under F? And remember I told you, this is a very important area. The computer Excel knows that on the top of all these columns, you're going to have the name of that field. So it knew to sort everything starting from row 2 down. It just kind of knew that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So especially because it can look and it can see that all of this data is identical and this one is not. So this is clear the anomaly. So it knows to sort only this stuff. Okay. But yes, Nick.
If there's more than one row you don't want sorted, is there a way to do that?
Oh, no, not at all. In this case, there is no way because you can't sort all of this by alphabetical order and then have two here that are unsorted. What would be the point of having Andrew through Teresa and then in the middle here, suddenly having
Well,
Doran, right?
I meant like the top two rows, like say you had another row on top of term and all that, like say,
Yes, yes. So since we're learning how to insert and delete, let's do that. Say that I now want to insert two rows above row 1. Remember that I told you, and watch, just watch this bit. The logical thing would be select row 1, right click and insert. And it worked. But then what if I wanted to insert 5 rows? I would have had to do this again, insert and insert and insert 5 times, which is like, ugh, right? So if I want to insert 2 rows, or let's start with 5, that way that is more obvious. I need to select downwards of where I want it to appear. I need to select 5 rows. Now, over here, it's easy to select 5 rows because we see 1 through 5, but what if I needed to select 5 rows in here? And I'm like, oh God, I have to count 5. Well, notice that if we're going to select 5 rows after row 12, I want them to appear above row 12, above the word Norma Mora. Then I go down and notice this little tooltip right here appearing where right under my nose that it says 5 rows, 4 rows, 12R. See how it says under my plus sign, it says 11R or 4R or 6R. Does you see that? That little tiny number? So it's telling me to stop right there for 5 because 6 to 12 to 16 is kind of easy to figure out, but what if you're doing 13 rows and you're going in between, you know, 2 other numbers? So that would be where you check. Okay, so we need to enter 2 rows above term. So we're going to select 2 rows and we're going to right click and insert, and it inserted 2 rows above term. If I go over here and insert 5, I go right click and insert, then I got 5 rows. I'm going to undo that. By the way, and I know this question had to do with something that Nick asked, and I'm acknowledging that it's 2:45 and class is over, but let me just basically say the same thing. If you want to insert 2 columns, you select 2 columns. If you want to insert 3 columns, you select 3, and I right click and I insert 3 columns. Okay, because I selected 3. So I'm going to undo that. So I'm going to go ahead and select and insert only 1 column or 2. I select 2 and then I insert. Now, I don't want to go much further, but I do want to answer your question, Nick. If this here said, I don't know, not Jane Doe, give me another name, whatever, Smith, Mark Smith, right? And if I were now to want to resort by last name, I click somewhere in this column and I say sort A to Z. Because there was a space there, it knew to ignore it. So it didn't sort Smith. Do that. If I had not left a space there and I had this down there, and I'm going to teach you how to do that there, then when I say sort by last name A to Z, it keeps ignoring it. Why? Because it knows that this is a field number. Why does it know? Because it is keeping a completely separate type of information there than here. You can see Excel knows that this follows a pattern and this doesn't, right? So if you wanted to say that the title of this one is registration, for example, and I didn't think I got that right, and I want to sort by registration, which in this case, it's all the same, and I were to sort it, it's not gonna, oh, okay. I just said it's
Wow.
to, and it immediately did it. I think because by now I've joined 2 over there, and these are also interesting.
Huh.
Anyway, next week I'm going to show you how we go around this when this does happen, which has to do with tables and stuff like that. So for now, I want you to give me a screenshot of having added, you know, a row and a column. Give me a little bit of that. Maybe you just want to select a column and do like this. And once you do that, now you do your screenshot, right? So that you have a way to show me what it is that you are screen shooting and stuff like that. Please do that. And since we haven't made any changes for now, don't even save it. I mean, we made, you're right, we did make changes, we did save it, but we're gonna instead save as instead of save. So when we click on Command S or Control S or Control S, it's gonna save as CVS. If I do save as, then it's gonna save as, and then here I need to tell it, instead of comma separate values, save as Excel workbook. It's past 2:45 and I try never to teach new things past 45, so I'm sorry. I'm still getting accustomed to 1 hour less. So Excel 2, let me just say class work so that I distinguish it. No, I'm just gonna add classwork in front. Or I think last time I said in class. And then save, and it'll be automatically in the right place. Otherwise, go find it and say save. All right. Since I saved it as Excel, look at how happy it is. It got rid of that little yellow thing that said to save. And now please head over before you leave, head over to the Padlet, write your name and give me all the screenshots, including just now I took this other screenshot and we'll write in here that this was adding columns, and rows, sorting, etc. There's more, but anyway, publish. Okay, so please post all of this. Notice that I did post in here how to to enter a function. And in this post, if you open my post, okay, if you go over here, you'll see that it says start with equals, begin write the name, can select the cell, close the parameters, hit enter run. So I put the instructions for this in case someone forgets. Okay. All right. As fast as it went, we're going to keep moving into more material next week. If you came here for the first time and I'm seeing Carrie, who I had her stay left, so I can't help her catch up. But anyway, any burning questions since I can't help Carrie because she's gone? Are you guys fine? Do you have a question? Did this work for you?
Diana, can I ask you a question?
Of course, guys, if you need to go, go, but if you want to stay because you learn from questions, please hang out. Officially, you're free to go. Yes, Brenda.
So I tried downloading the applications on my Mac to have the newest version of Excel. When I try to open it, it asks for my email, but it does not go on to the password.
Okay, you need to put in, okay, go ahead and share your screen. And by the way, Alan, are you there? Oh, Alan left, he's here on the one, but not on the one that he's on. And I wanted to help Alan with his applications. too.
Diana, I will have to change to my personal computer. Can I do that really
Yeah.
quick?
Yeah, just zoom in with your other one. And then if Alan, if you're hearing me, I wanted to stay back and help you with your application too. Because you need to sign in to the school version. I think Alan's gone too. Becky and Elaine, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, after you're done posting, you're welcome to hang out or to leave. I'm just gonna wait until I can help Brenda and hopefully Alan comes back with installing their applications.
Okay, I'm logging into the other computer, so I'm gonna log out of this one so there's no sound issues.
Okay, well, it sounds like it's fine as long as you didn't
Okay.
choose down on the other one, you're good. All right, go ahead and share your screen. And you need to unmute yourself on one of them because you muted on both, which means I won't be able to hear you talk.
Got it.
Oh, there you go. I said it was fine and it's not. You're right. But if you're on a computer, you don't need to get rid of the other one. Go
Got
to
it. I got the sound off.
disconnect audio. Okay, good.
Yes, let me
Perfectly
share
good.
my screen.
Yeah, do that.
Share. Are you able to see it? So
Mhm.
I keep on clicking enter, but it won't go anywhere.
Okay, so back out of this is Excel 2016.
Yes, because when we go to the Google Drive or that resources, it gives you the option to download the for a Mac, because I downloaded it for like Windows and I could not
right,
download
no.
it to my computer.
You shouldn't be getting Excel 2016. This is not the right one. You should be getting Excel 365, Office 365. Go ahead and walk out of this for a minute.
Okay. So
Because-
should I close it?
Close that and let's go back into open up, yeah, browser.
I
What
have,
computer are you on? Remind me. Go back
I'm
to.
on a Mac right now.
Yeah, but what kind of Mac? How old is it, or do you know?
It's 2011.
All right, so the question is, can 2011 handle 365? And it might not, that might be a reason. Anyway, go to where,
Do
install.
you see here? Download Office 365
Yeah,
for older
older
versions of
versions of Mac.
macOS.
Yeah, that's where you go.
That's what I did. That's the one I just pulled up.
Oh,
That so if I go to my downloads, where is it?
it would be, it's on your downloads. It would be under applications.
Oh, applications, yeah. So when I click on that and install that, it came up as a separate each of them. I don't know if you can see it, and it was done. It was done on July 10th when I downloaded it. But when I try to open it,
Yeah, it says version 16. It's the
mhm,
16, it doesn't, I guess because your version of OS doesn't accept 365. Let's give it a try. Okay, so you don't go ahead and double click and let's see.
it takes a very long time to open it.
Yeah, because especially now that you're on Zoom and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to go to Apple to see if they can download the newest software on it.
No, no.
No,
It's not about that. Go up to your, while we're waiting for that, go up to the very top left of your screen where you see the Apple icon
uh-huh.
on that and say about this Mac.
It's kind of frozen out there.
Choice. Okay, hold on. Go to say about this Mac. And it's thinking
Mm-hmm.
your computer is probably, yeah, Mac OS El Capitan, software update, and yours is in early 2011. Go click on software update. You can probably update, but not to the newest one, but you can probably go up to Monterey. Let's see. I'm not gonna have you updated now. I want to see what it offers you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might be able to go up to Monterey, maybe at least up to Catalina. So if so, that's something that you can do, but hold on. This is all the stuff I teach during my Mac classes. A lot of people have a lot of these questions. So one update available. Nope, that's not what we want. So is El Cap the most you can update to? I have handouts. Hold on. I have I'll go to
Mhm.
my handouts of my Mac classes where it tells me if you have a 2011, whether you can go up beyond Catalina, but give me a sec, 'cause I need to go to my
Sure.
handouts for that class. It might be that this is as much as you can update, Mac intro. Let me go to my versions handout. Uh, I'm going to, so is it a MacBook? Or there it says it's a MacBook Pro from 2011. So let me go to MacBook Pro 2011. And no, it has to be late 2013 for Monterey. So let me see. Operating system for Mac. It's like MacBook Pro 2011, and let's see what it says. What is the latest OS I can run on my MacBook Pro? 2011 High Sierra. High Sierra is the latest one, and High Sierra is a bit newer.
Okay.
Hold on, High Sierra is 2 up. It's 2 up from, High Sierra is 2 up from El Capitan. So you can go up
Okay.
to High Sierra. So, you don't need to do that from here. Go ahead and close this and close that. Go back to the Apple icon way on top,
Okay.
and go to the system preferences. They're opening up. And where's your general software update? It's not telling you that you can update, so that's interesting. Go up. The fact that it's not telling you that you have an update other than that one.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that I can confirm that it says what it said, the Mac, was it 2011, a late 2011?
Early 2011.
Monterey recorded introduced in 2015. High Sierra. So hold on. Now what I need to do is ask, how would you get, how to install High Sierra on MacBook Pro 2011? Because you have to go to a particular place to find that and download that, because it doesn't. Let me see. Did it say late 2011 or early 2011? Can you go back to the Apple and say again, go to the Apple and say about this Mac? Because late 2011 or early 2011 might make a difference. It says early 2011. Shoot, maybe it has to be a 20. Maybe it has to be a late 2011. Yours says early 2011. It's
Mhm.
kind of weird, but late and early mattered at some point. I have instructions here of how to do it. They're not going to do
Okay.
it for you at the Apple store. If you,
Because it works, I don't want to have to
yeah.
purchase any
I was just seeing if you could go up to High Sierra, you might be able to install. Let me see. Office 365 And let's see if unfortunately, Office 365, you need to have at least macOS Catalina. Say going up to High Sierra wouldn't work. You would still have to go to Catalina, which you cannot do. Okay. So don't bother going up to High Sierra because you can't, it won't work for 365 anyway. Okay, so we're left with that we still need to figure out, can we install the 2016? So go ahead and close that. So yeah, all of this makes no difference. So now let's say get started. Yeah.
Can I ask you, this one has that future, the 2016 that mine didn't? The fill in or something like that?
I don't know, just go ahead and say sign in. That I need to make sure that it's possible to use it through the free account. Otherwise, you might need to go and get help from Santa Barbara City College tech support and tell them, hey, you give this for free, but it's not entering here, that you probably have to go back and enter a different set of permissions because they have all the permissions set up for 365. Okay, so here you need to put in your pipeline email address at pipeline.sbcc.edu. And now say next. Okay. And this is where you were stuck before,
Mm-hmm.
and hit return.
Nothing happens.
Okay. So unfortunately, this is a question for City College tech support.
Okay.
Because I didn't know they were offering, in the past, I have taught 2016 for many years and they didn't offer it for free. The fact that that's the option that they're giving you makes me think that they expect you to be able to install 365 because 2016 has never been free for students. And I know because I taught that for so many years. So
Okay.
I think this is probably like a mistake, but maybe they have, it's so old now that maybe they don't mind giving it away for free and they maybe do provide a version for school.
Okay.
Other than that, you're going to have to stay with the version you have, or, whenever which means most of the stuff we can still do, but some we can't. And, everything we did today is still the same in 2011. You'll still find things that you can't do, but yeah, check in with tech support and tell them tell them I have a 2050, do screenshots or write down, I have a Mac OS early 2011 and I'm trying to, they only let me install 2016, but it seems like it's not letting me. Do you have access to 2016 for free? Something like that,
Okay. Will
Okay.
do. Thank you so much, Diana.
You're welcome. Okay, bye.
Bye.